Good afternoon and welcome back to Prague, the Prague Arena, for the FIBA EuroBasket Women 2017 classification games for 5th and 6th place. And we now have a game between Turkey and the Slovak Republic, just kind of digesting what we just watched with Latvia scraping a 1-point win over Italy to clinch a spot in the World Cup. So congratulations to Latvia and commiserations to Italy, who were, in my opinion, deserving to get there. They lost very tough circumstances, but that's the nature of sport. 68-67. Later tonight, we have the semifinals: Spain against Belgium and Greece against France. And as we said, these teams are not playing for spots on the podium, but what they are playing for is a spot in the World Cup. And that's why we saw both the Italians and the Latvians really give everything in the last game to try to make it to Spain next year. So I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Shona Thorburn, and Shona, I don't know that really any game has kind of impacted me the way the last one has, especially having attended the press conference of Italy and just kind of realizing how heartbroken and crestfallen they are not to be at the World Cup. Some of the veteran players, especially Captain Rafaela Masiadri, saying that she had always dreamed of playing in the World Cup, Olympics, and now she's not. But again, I guess in the post-mortem, maybe there might be more said about that. But right now, it's all about the Slovak Republic putting behind them a disappointing performance against a very good French team in the quarterfinals, and a Turkish team putting behind them a very disappointing, hugely disappointing performance against Greece.
Yeah, I hope to see a different Turkish team, because we didn't see the team we saw in group play come out in the quarterfinals, and they are much better than they showed against Greece. Hats off to Greece. Greece had a game plan, and talk about executing a game plan and playing a style that suited Greece. And they realized it was going to take Turkey out of their things that they're used to doing, and so they executed it greatly. But I'm pretty sure they did not have a rosy type of practice yesterday. Coach was the Turkish coach was very disappointed, Coach Memnon, in them, and I'm sure they've heard about it, and they have veterans, they have experienced players, and so they know how to rebound from something like this. And like we just saw in the game against Italy and Latvia, this game is so incredibly important for both of these teams. For Turkey to get to the World Cup, that was part of their goal coming here. It was definitely being on the podium, but you know what? That's not going to happen, so now it's going to the World Cup. So they need to get that ticket for them to consider it having a successful tournament. Slovakia. Wouldn't it be great to finally see Slovakia get to the World Cup in so many years? And we have experience on Turkey's side. You also have a lot of experience on the Slovakian side.
Okay, they're playing in the national anthems, starting with the Slovak Republic. National anthem of Turkey. Okay, so Turkey and Slovak Republic are going to meet at mid-court, shake hands with the coaches as well, and then we'll see the referees for today's game. So referees Russia, Slovakia, and Forsberg from France, Estonia, and Denmark. And we'll be getting a look at the rosters of both of these teams pretty soon. And I'll let the erstwhile Miss Thorbernova go over this.
You know, you have the Zurkova, who's had a great tournament. Valentova, too. That's a strong backcourt. You want to see Jersinkova come out, maybe be a little bit more assertive. Brissinkova, Vinichilova, they have talent in the post position, but they've sort of played in the background. So yeah, you know, starters, Zurkova, Orsovova, Valentova.
So Orsova's back in the starting lineup
She
tonight.
is, yeah. Rutsikova and Vinichilova. You know, that's a talented starting five that can compete with this Turkish team. See the roster shortly. So, you know, you have Chakar, who's played great coming off the bench for them. Darley. We have Albin, Hollingsworth, of course. Even Cox will step up, and Turkey's talented. Turkey has a deeper bench, so here we have the starting five. Bardarli, who's going to come out and I think dominate this game. Albin, Trackler, Hollingsworth, Chanitez, and I say Bardarli's name because I think she had a very poor game against Greece. You know, she wasn't the leader, that backcourt presence that we're used to seeing from her and Ushul Albin. And I really think she was disappointed with her performance. You know, 18 minutes, 0 for 6, 3 turnovers, -3 evaluation. You know, -14 plus/minus points, and that's not her.
And what about Hollingsworth, that at times has been dominant? Rutsikova seems to have gotten better as the tournament has gone along. I think Slovakia were pretty much overmatched against France, but she typically holds her own against anybody. And of course, Svoboda, you know, he went with a different starting lineup that didn't include her earlier in the tournament, but has had her in there in plenty of time.
And, you know, talking about Hollingsworth as well, she maybe didn't have the numbers we're used to seeing. She ended up with 15 points and 10 rebounds against that Greece team, but she had only 3 shot attempts at the end of the third quarter. And I remember saying, you know, you can't not get the ball to her. She is your best player. She's the player who had 29 points and 21 rebounds and a 1-point win against Italy for them during group play. So I'm sure Coach Memnon has, you know, the Turkish coach has told his players, hey, there's a reason why someone is your best player, and you need to get the ball to them, even if the defense is trying to prevent that. And that's what we saw against Greece. So do you wonder, you know, the famous, the legend that is Yilmaz, who has been the face of this Turkish team, do you wonder that maybe, I didn't think it could happen, but maybe they really are missing that leader?
Could be. But I will say this is not a good time to play the Slovaks. They've proven to be very dangerous in this type of situation. I'm sure Turkey has been reminded of that fact by Ekrem Memnon. Okay, the EuroBasket Women 2017 classification game between Turkey and the Slovak Republic is underway. Slovakia won the tip, but Turkey have taken the ball away, and now they'll be attacking The basket to the right on your screen. Ushalabin will start things off and hit a three-pointer. And the leadership question that you bring up about Turkey, I just think it was a bad day at the office. I really do. I mean, I think Turkey, for whatever reason, Albin and Badarli especially, just didn't get it going the other day. Ruzitskova against Greece. And the big reason was because Greece came out supremely focused and concentrated, and they just took them out of their game.
They did. Talk about a dominating performance, and everyone from Greece dominated in that game.
I mean, that was the most spectacular thing. If we look at Svoboda, the coach of Slovakia, the most interesting talking point from quarterfinals day was the performance by Greece. The thoroughly professional, precise, amazing. I mean, it was incredible, and it's gotten people back in Greece really excited about this women's national team. They were already excited, but they were positively jumping for joy in Athens after that result. So once again, we'd like to say congratulations. Vinyukhalova takes a difficult shot. You know, the big part of that defeat for Turkey that the coach homed in on was the defensive effort of this team and how, but you know, the way that Greece played, I suppose the way Lolita Lumura took over the game, and she did take it over, raises questions about the Turkish defense. And that was what Memnon was probably getting at. Anyway, back to this one. Hollingsworth misses it, gets it back. Ushalabin, jump stop.
And you see already early in this game, they're looking for Hollingsworth. You know, Albin hit that early three, but other than that, they've been trying to find her.
Badarli puts it up, and Janitez is in position. Odosova comes in. The reason why, you know, the last time we saw the Slovaks get up off the canvas and come out and play well was against the Ukrainians in the quarterfinal qualifying. And I'm just wondering if they're going to have a similar type of performance today against a Turkey team that perhaps is still reeling a bit.
Yeah.
Ortolova has it crossing midcourt.
I think Turkey's going to look at this tournament and say, even if they win and even if they finish fifth, they might say it was a disappointing tournament for them. I really think they wanted to have a podium finish.
There's no doubt they thought they could get there. I think if they, you know, it's always better to win, to leave the tournament on the back of a win, and if they can actually come out and get a win today, and get them into the World Cup, I think it'll almost be mission accomplished. Ortolova drives in, throws it up off the rim. Certainly the build-up, we weren't thinking that Turkey had a chance. They didn't have a great build-up in terms of results. So they can salvage something with a victory today. Chalar. Vinyukhalova with the rebound. Zhirkova was completely shut out against France. And you know what the difference is? Zhirkova had a wide open look by Turkey, and you know, and Albin knows, she can't give that away. So, you know, the defense has to be there. You got to play every possession, because if you allow a player like Zhirkova to get going, you know, let her catch fire, it can be a long night or a long day in this case.
A very long day for them at the office. And like you mentioned, you know, defensively they were not great against Greece. So it surprises me because they do have such talent at the guard position also.
Oh, what a play from Kalova. Catching it and laying it up. Nice finish from her. She's got a soft touch, as does Ruzitskova. Excuse me, Ruzitskova.
Followed by number 11, Barbara Bounceva, the first personal foul.
Nice pass. Hollingsworth, nice touch from the big center. Balantova. And the shot is good from Rizitskova. So she gets it back to 5-4. Now Albin. You know, one thing we didn't talk about was seeing Turkish Basketball Federation President Hedu Kokoglu come in and speak to the press, or at least Turkish television, after the game the other day. I think that was a pretty intense moment. I'm not sure what he said, but it was, you know, he's gone from player to head of the federation. Rizitskova. And the Turkish player is down. Is it Shalar? And it goes to Hollingsworth. She's not getting up.
She is not getting up.
It doesn't look good.
I think she might have taken a shot to the head.
Shalar is being...
Let's see here.
Oh.
Yeah.
She got an elbow from Vinu Khalova, who immediately looks over to help her up.
Yeah, completely inadvertent. Yeah. I don't even think Vinu Khalova ran back on defense. She was so concerned. See, and this right here, you worry about concussion. And concussions have ended some players' careers. You know, getting a hit in the head, we have all the research starting to come out now that shows you how serious it is. And you worry, you know, she kind of looks as though she had a hit in the head, but then also you see Coach Memnum here taking advantage of giving an opportunity to talk to Hollingsworth and instruct her, it looks like a little bit on defense. So yeah, you know, I think she might have got whiplash almost, but then also it's more the head I'm worried about. She does not feel good. There's a reason why she has not got up.
So this is a serious moment for Turkey.
Yeah, I think they're worried about her neck. Also, that's why they haven't maybe asked her to get up right away.
Well, it's good that Vinu Khalova immediately stopped to check on her.
Yeah, no, and this is what basketball is about too. It's about sportsmanship, and she didn't, you know, Bahar, I think maybe got a little shove from behind and then lost her balance, and Vinu Khalova was doing what you asked her to do, bigs, crash the boards, and she just sort of hip checked her, maybe even swung an arm into her, and it wasn't on purpose, and that's why you saw, and this is where, you know, Vinu Khalova didn't run back on defense, because something like this is actually more important, you know, than giving up 2 points. So, you know, this is a little concerning. They haven't moved her yet. You know, you could see the concern on the Turkish player's eyes on the bench there. So okay. Even the Slovak Republic players are, you know, everyone wants an athlete to be okay. You never want to see an athlete get, so she's going back down. So she is not feeling good. She did sit up, and now they've had to lay her back down. People are concerned. I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
This is, you know, they're asking for a stretcher now. This is sad. You know, this is.
You don't think it's a concussion? I think it's a concussion.
I think maybe she's having. She's clearly showing concussion signs, I think, already. But I think they're also worried about her neck.
Yeah. But she's able to move her.
Everything's
a little
moving.
bit to the right and left.
I think she sat up, and if she does have a concussion and is showing strong concussion symptoms, if you sit up, she's going to feel nauseous.
Yeah.
And dizzy.
You know, Turkey's been involved on the other side when Hollingsworth called Laura Mackey with the elbow in the second game. And Mackey was lost for the rest of that game, went to hospital and had to go back to Italy.
Yep.
To receive, to have an operation, and she was knocked out of the tournament. If you look at the replay of Ursula Albin hitting the three-pointer at the start of the game. So they, you know, I mean, they know better than anybody how physical and unfortunate incidents can happen in this tournament. And, you know, we've kind of both agreed that Charlotte has been, well, I mean, I've certainly touted the fact that she has noticeably taken her game to a higher level, and obviously after a very successful club season.
Yes.
And without her the rest of the way, which appears that will be the case.
Yeah, I don't think she's returning today.
It's next man up or next woman up. And they're going to be bringing a stretcher out, it seems, not to take any chances here. So this is a very tense moment here in the Prague Arena with Bahar Charla. And they're going to put her on the stretcher. And you know that Vinu Palova feels pretty lousy at this point.
Yeah, you do. And you know,
but it's just one of those crazy things. She's going in for a potential rebound.
It was a freak hit, let's say, and you I mean, know
these Slovakian girls don't play dirty.
No, they don't. They don't, and they're just as concerned. And you know, if Slovakia ends up winning, they also want to be the best of Turkey as well, and that is having Shaglar out on the court. So they don't want to see this. You never want to see this happen. And the good thing is, you know, these teams, they come with great doctors. They come with amazing physios. So she is going to be taken care of. You just hope that it's something not serious. You know, she is talking, she is communicating with them, so I think that's a good sign. But they're just taking precautions, and there's no reason not to.
So, remember, just as a reminder, the team, there's Ekrememnem putting his arm around the referee, sharing a moment. Maybe, I mean, we're hoping this is just all precautionary and that she's fine and that she'll be lucid. And there she goes. She's actually literally going right in front of us, kind of holding her head with her hand. So we take it that might be a good sign as well. Ömer Anan, the former Turkey international who now works with the federation, is at the end. He's come down to the end of the court to check on her. I'm not sure that Heda Kokoglu is here right now, but Chalar is speaking with out of the arena. And if there's anything that we know about Turkey, is that their basketball federation looks after their players. So they will already, the big boys are down there checking up on her.
Yeah, they are, and you know, so will every other federation in this competition. They will check up on her and make sure she's okay, because as competitive as these teams are, it's still about having good sportsmanship, and every country here does. So you're as concerned as the next person about, even if it's not your own player.
So now becomes sort of the difficult part. You know, how do you respond if you're on either team? You've had the stoppage in play. You've had to cope with what's happened. And the jump shot is good. So good sign from Valentova. Her first three is a good one.
And, you know, let's talk about Turkey losing Shaglar, because this is also, you want them to try and stay focused, but
nice three.
The response
there's no Charlar,
to what I was about to say. But, you know, you hope that they still play aggressive, they still play hard, but you know, when you lose a player, that's in the back of your minds.
Rusitskova, well, that was about as telegraphed a pass as you can make. You just don't make those passes when Alban is on the court. She's just gonna take it.
She says thank you.
Turkey up by 3. And battling for a position down low. So Vinyu picks up the first foul.
First personal foul.
And Albin comes in, and Rizitskova rather picks up the rebound. So far, Turkey are not feeling the wrath of Zirkova. She hasn't been able to get any space other than that open look that she missed. And now she's going to pass it to Vinyu. So free throws. You know, one more point is this game highly likely that it'll go down to the wire just like the last one. We were talking about when you can use instant replay to review in the final 2 minutes when the ball goes off of a player and you want to be sure, did it go off this player or this player for this team, or that player or that team. You also wonder, as Balantova drives in, misses, they crash the boards. Well, I'll get back to that when we get a dead ball situation, remind me. Here, over to Koksal, who's come in, and the sweet shooting Koksal misses. And now Albin has it, and she's going to take this all the way. Look at that. How she traveled. Boy, not often that you would see her not convert. And Balantova just kind of backed away. So that is a missed opportunity. And Albin doesn't really complain very often. Orostova comes out. Rizitskova comes out. Reminarova comes back in. And Zirkanova as well comes in. And Reminarova right off the bench. How about that? She says, Coach, you started me against France. I know we lost, but you got to believe in me. And she comes right out and knocks it in. And he goes, you know what? Maybe I should have started her tonight. And good D from Vinyu, but Janitez got stuck in there to try to get it back, but Reminarova comes up with it. Zirkova won't get it to the Rainmaker, Balantova. Penetration, and Vidarli drives in, misses. Foul has been called late in the shot clock. You know, also talking about leadership in that Turkey team, they've got Shazia Vegan, who's been there, and a player who doesn't play a lot. She used to play a lot, or at least she used to play a lot more than she does now. So from leadership, you would expect her to be quite vocal over there on the bench. And Janitez makes the first one.
But, you know, she also played in the era of Yilmaz, who...
You know what's going to be really interesting, Shona, is what Turkey are going to do after this, no matter what happens in terms of the coaching. Because Ekrem Memnun, you know, I mean, they're going to consider what his situation is. He's hoping that they're going to continue it. And that was a tough loss yesterday, but then you come back and you clinch a spot at the World Cup. If they can win this game, it will be the second time that he will have led them to a qualification for a major tournament. And remember how they played at the Olympics, where they lost just by in the quarterfinals to Anna Cruz Basket. This is a new team. Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is it not in their best interest to stick with him? And Vinyu puts it up.
You know, I guess it's also, you also have to look at who else could you possibly get, right?
I'm sure there's plenty of people that would like to coach these players.
I'm sure there are.
Now Kudasova drives in and just completely out of control, but actually the foul was on Hollingsworth. I thought Hollingsworth was, oh yeah, they did call the charge. Oh, but Hollingsworth did slide in at the last second. She was still moving, but she had already established position, you think? What do you think Kudasova was thinking? She's not only do I get the charge, but I'm hurting.
Yeah. I don't know if you kind of go with a no call on that, because I do think both are at fault.
And now, looking over. Excuse me, Yurchenkova goes down. And foul has been called.
2 free throws for Turkey.
Kudasova has a bruise there on her left arm. Maybe that was, am I getting that wrong? Was that a travel at the other end that they called on her?
No, I think it was an offensive foul.
Because if that was, no. Yeah, it was an offensive foul. Oh, so they just showed the offensive foul in the graphic. From that, I'm just looking, okay, so the foul was on Yurchenkova. So this foul is on Yurchenkova. And Orozova gets the rebound. So you just really have to appreciate the size and perhaps speed of France and depth. If you look at Balantova, how they neutralized this Slovakian team, they just were suffocating. I mean, we didn't see anything from them the other day, and I think it was all due to them. Oh, there's what you need right there. Shocker! Scores in transition.
Every time she checks into the game, that's what we see. We see her going hard to the hole and scoring.
For one more attempt, the second personal foul for Barbara.
You know, you might have said, okay, that was a little early because you're giving the ball back with 6.7 seconds. You know what? When it turns into an AM1, you say, okay, I'll let you get away with that one.
Team Turkey into the game number 3, Isaac Ora.
So Coach Memnon has decided to go with Cora, I think, to put some pressure on the ball. I mean, it doesn't stop Balantova, though.
Oh, what a play. No, they're not going to count it.
Smart play by Turkey. They knew they had fouls to give. Yeah, I mean, she took another dribble and then got into her layup. So it was for sure on the ground.
Kolova
The
wanted the
bench
basket.
disagreed.
Jordan. So 1.3 seconds remaining, and Turkey on top of Slovakia. The Slovakians are going to call a timeout because they need to maximize the opportunity. So it's not been a thing of beauty from a shooting standpoint for either team. Turkey had hit a couple of threes, and that's probably the difference in the game. Otherwise, it's pretty slim pickings from an offensive standpoint, and also from a rebounding standpoint. That's perhaps mildly surprising that Turkey are leading the way, 14-8. Because especially where the Slovakians rebounded against Ukraine, they were pretty tough.
They were tough. You know, we talked about Ukraine and how well they had done so far in the tournament, rebounding offensively, defensively, and then we saw a completely different Slovakian team come out and play the Ukraine in a must-win game to move on to the quarterfinals, and they just took a Ukrainian team that was strong, tough, gritty, out of their game, especially on the boards. So let's see, you know, Slovakian coach took a timeout to obviously set up a play to try and get a good look at the basket.
And they did get a look from Dudasova, but Shelley was able to kind of clang it off the backboard. The shake of the head for Zirkova suggests that maybe they didn't execute the plan to perfection. Turkey lead at 16-9 after 1.
Yeah, you know, pretty even. Free throws 4-5. Slovakia hasn't attempted any.
Okay, so, I mean, really the main talking point in this game, other than the fact that the winner qualifies for the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup in Spain next year, is the fact that Turkey has lost Baha Shalar, and she left with either an apparent head injury or neck injury, and she had to be stretchered, wheeled out on the stretcher. And we'll let you know as soon as we hear anything about that. It might not come until later, but certainly we're hoping that Bahar is okay. She's a real star for Turkey. Has been a solid member of that team, two-time Olympian, but really was coming into this tournament and with the potential to be a real big-time player for them. And certainly she has a long way to go in her international career, so we hope that she's okay. She went down, it appeared, when Romana Vinokhalova came in with trying to get a rebound or potential rebound, and kind of an odd collision with her left elbow maybe, or left arm.
Even hip maybe was involved. Just an awkward fall and hit. Nothing, you know, nothing intentional. It wasn't a dirty play by any means.
Well, that's probably the most positive move that we've seen from Vidarli in the last couple of games.
Yep, I agree. She hasn't been the I want to say, almost typical Vidarli that we're used to seeing for this Turkish team.
Zirkova to Yurchenkova, and her pass right into the hands of Shaker. And Zirkova stands in front of her, clearly with the intention of breaking up the fast break. So we already know that Latvia have won one of these games. They beat Italy in a real nail-biter, one-point game to qualify for the World Cup. Bitter defeat for Italy, make no mistake about it. And a great moment for Latvian women's basketball history, the first time they've qualified for the World Cup. And now the question is, who is going to make it? And it does have, the point needs to be made that Latvia did play at the 2008 Olympics, so it's not like the first time they're going to play at a big Olympic or a big event. They did play in Beijing. The pass inside to Kuxel, and she puts it up off the glass and in.
You know, keep in mind, idea that the Olympics is the largest multi-sporting event in the world. And it is the pinnacle of any, especially basketball athlete's career. You can't reach anything better. But that being said, the Nike FIBA World Cup next year in Spain is the biggest for just women's basketball. It's the largest tournament. It only happens every 4 years. Yeah, I mean, think about the World Cup for soccer, for you know, European football. It's the biggest event. So keep that in mind. Getting a ticket and being able to play in the World Cup is enormous for these countries. Absolutely. You know, just to drive home that fact, just had to hear the words of Rafaela Masiadri, who's unfortunately her long career, which is probably over now in terms of with the national team. She won't get to experience that. Janitez makes the first free throw.
And the second is good as well. You know, certainly with Shalar going out the way that she has, the likes of Jantes and Senurek, this is perhaps where they could really step forward. And also Koksal. Although Koksal plays a little bit more on the perimeter, I think. And the ball just fumbled away by Orozova.
You know, I think so far in this game, Slovakia look tired. They look, you know, as though their legs are not
responding.
Yeah. You know, your mind is telling you one thing, but your body isn't doing it.
Darley over to Koksal, wide open. Good! And starting to see the best of Vidarli as well as Koksal.
This is the Vidarli I know. And this is also the defense that I know from Turkey. We didn't see this against... Well,
nice response.
Yeah, it was a good job of breaking the press. But, you know, Coach Memnun, he has the bench and he has the guards to be able to pick up full court, put pressure on the ball, make things difficult for the opposing team. And we're seeing that today.
Solo's pass may be a bit difficult. I think the idea was right, but Zhirkova at the line. And Rychenkova battles with Janites.
Foul by number 13, Rychenkova. Second personal foul. Substitution.
Talking about Janites, you know, she only has registered 2 rebounds, but if you've been watching this game, let me see the 3 from Koksal there. That's just great penetration. The pass from Vidarli was right on the money for her. But yeah, so sorry, Janites. She only has 2 rebounds to her name, but she's shorter than especially the Slovakians, but most people in her position. And maybe she doesn't get the rebound, but she does a good job of tipping it on the defensive end to her teammates, and then it becomes a team rebound sort of a thing. So, and obviously Coach Memnun appreciates her and what she does, even if she's not the most glorious statistical player, because she does play a lot for this team. She is starting for them, so she is very valuable. Kind of like the Laura Gil of Spain, you know? She plays that type of a role.
Nice play from Rychenkova using the glass.
That was a beautiful patience by Slovakia to move the ball around and then get an open look.
Senurek gets in. Ilya with the rebound. Get a basket here and you trail by 10. Even 9, but the turnover. Brings it back and Koksal has it knocked out of the hands by Balankova.
Number 17, comes to Koksal. Substitution from Turkey. Into the game, number 13, Oxford, and number 3, Isekora.
Has not found her rhythm yet. She just banked that shot in, and you wonder if all those minutes have finally caught up to her.
Drive, and the putback from Hollingsworth. Make from Balantova. Well, Slovakia kind of hanging around.
Yeah, they're not going away, and I mean, they're talented enough. I don't really expect them to
back to Zhirkova. And the foul called on Alban.
Foul by number 10, Israel Alban.
First, it's only the team's second. I think that's, it was a foul. Not a smart little idea from the veteran point guard for Turkey to try and go for the steal.
So, we've got a pause in the action, and Valentova, I think if there's any player that can help them come back, it will be Valentova, the way she shoots from three. And they have yet to get Ruzicka going down low, and that's kind of a disappointment for Slovakia. Maybe she could turn up a notch. It's midway through the second quarter. And I think if you're Turkey, really, you don't want to mess around with Slovakia. You want to go ahead and put them away and try to get your World Cup ticket. Don't let them hang around.
Yeah, Turkey should not be feeling comfortable right now because you have a Zirkova who we saw, I think she was 5 for 7 in that one game from three-point line. You know, you have Valentova who can shoot threes. Orisova has come off and shot threes for them. So they are a team that can put up some points very fast, needless to say. So, and you know, you don't see Slovakia playing with a sense of urgency right now because they do know that there's a long time left in the game. You know, they've turned the ball over 8 times already, and that's just too many turnovers. So they're not really worrying yet.
Kolova, and the jump shot is good from Orisova.
So we see Slovakia now have decided to go back into the zone. Much good with hitting her first 2 of the game. And I wonder if the Slovakian coach decided to go into his zone just to give his players maybe, I don't want to say a break because zone defense, you still have to run around, you still have to box out, you still have to rebound. But maybe he thinks they can match up better if they go into his zone.
And, you know, the point has to be made again. Slovakia, they can get hot. You know, they can knock in a couple shots. We've just seen one fall. We've seen Valentova stroke it. Zirkova hasn't gotten it going yet. She finds a little spot finally.
She has such a fast release.
Oh, now nice move from Kolova, but then doesn't get a good shot off. But Valentova gets it to Yurchenkova, and the deficit just 8 points for Slovakia. And you can see perhaps the self-belief growing a little bit over there on the Slovakian bench. Valentova, good decision. And Yurchenkova was able to get it up off the glass.
Yeah, and like I mentioned before, they weren't rushing things. They were still playing under control, and there's so much time left in this game, and they know that also. So you know, they're just going to wait. They're going to move the ball around. Their best offensive attacks have actually been where they've shared the ball, and Turkey, you know, have put Turkey in a situation where they're kind of in a scramble. And you know, Slovakia have done a good job of making, you know, the person with the final pass has been wide open, and they've knocked those shots down. You see the deep 3 there by Valentova. We know she can shoot and score. Yeah, she actually leads this team in scoring with 13.8 points a game. She has 5 points tonight already, 1 rebound, 2 assists. She's an exciting young player. You know, I wish we could have an all-tournament team for, I don't know, let's say 23 years and younger. because there are many young, talented women playing in this tournament who are going to have long, bright futures.
And rebound from Viniklova. This is where it has to be a little bit worrying for Turkey that can't, the reason why it's worrying is because they also got up on top of Greece. They got up on top of Greece by about 10 points.
They did.
And their EuroBasket women was right on course. They're right where they wanted to be. And it's a similar situation as with Slovakia. I mean, you can't mess around with this team because they can come back. And we saw it against Ukraine. They can all of a sudden turn it up a gear. Nice move from Rychenkova, and again, it's the porous defense. Nobody's stepping over, and they're getting layups.
And that all started because Zurkova sort of came off a handoff. They're so concerned about her, even though she's not scoring. They know she can, and she was able to sort of fake out the defense. They had two of them went to her, and then she finds her open post player, and it was a great finish.
Kirksel puts up one, and it was such a bad shot that it was able to go to Hollingsworth, and she's not able to get it. And Turkey are just completely out of it right now. I mean, they really are. They're fortunate. It's almost like they're a bit confused. And this time, they're able to get it inside to Hollingsworth.
Foul by number 15, Alana Viniklova. 2 free throws for running from Hollingsworth. Second foul by Viniklova.
Sometimes I think the Turkish players aren't listening to me, but anytime Hollingsworth touches the ball, good things happen.
Well, that would have really helped the Slovak Republic. Viniklova, she hit that jumper. And Janitez does the right thing here. She just doesn't finish.
And again, that foul was because Hollingsworth crashed the boards. Even though it looked like she wasn't going to get it, she still put pressure on Slovakia. And Rychenkova ended up fouling her.
Substitution to Slovakia. Into the game, number 14, Maria Rychenkova.
Hollingsworth makes the first one.
Both free throws made by Hollingsworth.
Now, drive. Balankova rather puts it up. Barbara Balankova. And now an offensive foul takes it right back over to Slovakia.
Number 13,
And we've seen a lot of offensive moving screen fouls called. Here's that beautiful move by Balankova.
Substitution to Turkey. Into the game, number 15, Hilda Semirek.
I talked about Hollingsworth and removing screen fouls that have been called, I think, almost won a game. One game she had 3 called against her.
Order server misses.
And she has an unusual, I want to say, screening technique that I think confuses the refs a little bit as well.
The pressure's on these teams trying to win to get to the World Cup. Janitez again, well short. Put a couple, in front of a couple of air balls here. And again, Slovakia. Viniaflova, she was turned, had an open shot. And now complaining by Janitez over the call, as well as Memnum saying the ball went out of bounds off Slovakia. Falls on deaf ears. Oh, wait. Anyway, both Memnum has been warned.
We need it to go a little slower, but...
Well, they have called a technical foul on Turkey.
Okay.
And again, you need to just kind of keep emotions in check, but Zurkova just is in a funk today. As excellent as she was against Ukraine, she's been anonymous, and I don't know what you do. You almost, I suppose, Svoboda puts her at the free throw line, maybe to try to get her going.
Yeah, try and give her a little bit of confidence. She's so experienced that she's not going to wane in the confidence factor. If she's open, she's going to shoot.
Odoslova chases it down. Look at the hustle. That's why I like her, and that's why I was really surprised she wasn't in the lineup the other day against France. Oh, she gets her feet set this time.
She says, thank you, finally. But this is what I'm saying. She's such a veteran player that she has confidence. She knows she can make shots.
Oh, but Darley puts it up. So Turkey is going to head to the bench. And to the locker room, rather. Zurkova goes off the court, having scored the three-pointer and cut the deficit just 4.
So, wow, look at that. 45% for Slovakia compared to only 28. But, you know, Turkey has the advantage on the three-point shooting and the free throw shooting. 7-8, 6 steals, 4 steals. It's nothing alarming. It's even, and I think that shows the score as well. You know, Turkey only being up 4 points.
Stick around for the second half. We'll be right back.
Zajímavá témata způsobnost mít mají co říct. Host je výborné, odpůjde domátou od 9 hodin živě na radiofonii. Univerzita Hradec Králové fandí basketbalu.
Well, 32-28, Turkey on top of the Slovak Republic here. We're at halftime. The winner of this game advances to the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup in Spain next year. Latvia beat Italy in the first game today by 1 single point to make it. So while these teams aren't battling for medals, they are battling for something precious, and it's a spot in the World Cup. And Turkey they've gone up, but they haven't put the Slovakians away. And really, the first 5 minutes are going to be crucial, as they always are in a game like this. If Slovakia come out, they get more self-belief. You know, Turkey, who you would have said, might have said, would have been favorites coming into this game, could be on their way out, and that would be a big news, especially with Turkey having been at the big events really for the past several years. They played at the last 2 Olympic Games. They hosted the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup back in 2014. So this is a Turkey team that is really playing with fire, shall we say. If they don't come out strong in the second half, they could be on the end of another disappointing result, as they were in their quarterfinal against Greece when they just basically collapsed. So Turkey's fans cheering them on. Slovakians, Bataria, the drummers, are out there trying to bring a little bit of fight to the team. And we're about a minute away from the opening tip. Ekrem Memnum, whose contract ends at the end of this EuroBasket Women, is he going to be retained? Is he not going to be retained? And you can see the pensive, worried looks there on the faces of the Turkish fans, knowing that their World Cup hopes are in jeopardy. So, Shona Thorburn, it's been a very important 20 minutes, and I think the first game was played at a higher level, with maybe a little bit more intense. But this game probably is going to pick up in the intensity department here in the second half. And I think I would expect the Slovakians to really turn it up a notch.
Yeah, they have nothing to lose. So, I said this last game. There's 20 minutes left for your chance to go to next year's World Cup. The biggest, the Nike FIBA World Cup. It's the biggest event for basketball. There's nothing bigger. It's bigger than EuroBasket. It's bigger than the Asian Championships, the Americas. So there's 20 minutes left. You're going to give it your all. You're going to say, you know what? I want to be spent at the end of this game, and I want to have no regrets. I want to be able to look back on this, win or lose, and say, you know what, I gave it my all. I can't move anymore. My legs are just done. So we're going to see this from both sides. And this is where I think if Turkey can do that first, they might be able to tire out Slovakia. And Turkey has a bigger bench, so we'll see.
Well, we are back in action, second half underway. And Orozova puts up a shot. Rizitskova gets the rebound. And Balantova kind of hops into the lane, but traveling will be called.
And that's the sort of combination between the Euro step and the American, let's say, I think they call it the hop step. And when Europeans go over and play in the WNBA or in the NCAA, they get called for the Euro step. But then when the Europeans come here and do the American hop step, they get called travel-wise for that kind of a move.
So then it goes to Hollingsworth, and Hollingsworth turns and shoots it up.
Hollingsworth.
One thing that I think Slovakia needs to do is try and get Hollingsworth her 4th foul. I mean, she's playing with 3 right now. She's the person who can just take over and hurt Turkey. So if they can get her that 4th foul, I think that would be big for Slovakia.
Albin. And Albin nails the 3. That'll help the Turks breathe just a little bit easier. Try to get some positive vibes back over there on that Turkish bench.
Yeah, I think they lost a little bit of energy when great rebound.
Great rebound indeed.
Say $1 million move and a 5-penny finish.
5-cent finish.
5 cent? Not 5 pennies.
Valentova gets it to go in. Gets a little bit of love from the rim, the backboard.
You know, bank shot, little love. It counts. 3 points is 3 points. You get them however you can.
You know, something that was decided today was that the FIBA Women's EuroBasket 2019 will be in both Serbia and Latvia. And nice jump shot there from Vidarle. So she continues to show signs. So that Latvian win today and then going to the World Cup is only going to help them build for that tournament. So that was a huge win in every respect.
Yeah, you know, it is.
All but another three!
You saw Zurkova says you can't leave her open. Like, I don't care if that's not your man. You run back in transition, you pick up the closest person to you, and you don't leave someone, especially not Albin, open for the three. Look at this, there was no one even close to her. I mean, she could have gone in for a layup, but she said, I don't have to, I can make this. Get one more point for it.
Well, the coach's work is never done, is it? So Voda. That's why he's got to call the timeouts. Come on, let's talk about this again. Now, what did we say we're going to do?
You see that? 6 for 11, 54%. And this is something that we talked about during the Turkey-Greece game, especially in the first half and through the third quarter. I kept telling you after every quarter, I go, I'm disappointed because Turkey aren't going inside. They're shooting way too many threes. For the majority of the game, they actually had more 3-point attempts than they did 2-point attempts. And you know, today they're knocking those down, but they weren't knocking those down against Greece. And you should always shoot more twos. You cannot rely on 3-point shooting unless you're the Golden State Warriors.
That's true. Because they've got Curry.
They got Clay.
Klay Thompson can nail it from anywhere. Even Draymond. Durant. Goodness me. So, Falova, and her pass goes out of bounds, goes off of Zurkova. And not what you want to see coming out of the timeout. So, all of a sudden, starting to look a lot better for Turkey. Up 12. And Zitskova gets the rebound. Three-pointer no good from Valentova, and Albin catches it. Just seems kind of like incredible how Slovakia can just lose their way.
They play a little slower. I think, honestly, I really do. I think they're tired. You know, they're playing a little sluggish almost.
And the shot is good. And all of a sudden, Janitez gets in on the act. And all of a sudden, it's back to a 14-point lead. And let's see if Turkey can lower the boom now that they're back up. Zova. That was a two. We saw Turkey get up and Slovakia just chip away. I mean, Turkey had a 16-point lead in the first half, and we're only up 4 going into the halftime. So Slovakia's not going away, and also Turkey haven't been able to put them away when they have had a lead. Ball down in the paint.
Foul by number 7, Zurkova. Double substitution between Slovakia. Back into the game number 13, Jurčenková, number 5, Remenárova.
Dragon, the veteran, number 14 in the game. Albin, well, she's starting to lead now, isn't she?
She is.
Stepping up.
And you know, I like this. I like that this is her response after the last game. She knows that she didn't play well. She knows that she didn't do everything she could have for Turkey to get the win, or even compete, to be honest. And now she's showing why she is one of the most famous women's basketball players out there. Oh, another lucky goal for Slovakia. So maybe if they can just get the ball on the tip of the rim, it's going to bounce in for them.
Oh, the basketball gods are smiling upon them at their end of the floor. You got to play D. You got to get some stops. And Vidali now. And Janitez tries to rebound. It's a strange one. Vidali's just not hitting her shots overall in the tournament. And now Valentova finds scores for this layup. Alban passes to Vegan on the right and drills it. That's what her reputation was with its national team, being able to shoot a three-pointer.
It really was, and you know, she says, I haven't played a ton in this tournament, I haven't played yet in this game, but if I know how to do anything, it's that.
Zirkova and has the ball blocked. We're looking at the referee because there was some contact from Vegan. Vegan actually went up to check on her.
And you know, that's what I'm talking about. The sportsmanship also. Maybe she got away with a foul, but you know, she's gonna go and make sure she's okay after.
Goes to Janitez and swooping in for the Swats for Granenarova.
I talked about the first 5 minutes of every third quarter, how important that is for a team to come out of the locker room. And Turkey's done a great job so far with that. But what you have to, then you have to look at the other side of it. And if you're Slovakia, you're saying, okay, you know what? If we can at least get it to about 10 points.
Nice play.
She almost dunked it, didn't she?
She did. That was a great play. That's where Vidali hasn't struggled really. She's been able to pass the ball around. And Janitez now on the open floor. Oh, there's a little spin to get away from Zirkova.
Yeah, so they're making it harder for themselves. But I think if Slovakia can kind of get it down to about 10 points in the next 3 minutes, they have a good chance of coming back at the end of the, for the fourth quarter.
That was interesting right there. I mean, you tell me. Vegan wide open at the line, but passed to Janitez, who hit the jump shot. Is that just a flow thing? I mean, is that... she could have easily taken that shot.
She could have easily, and she hit her first shot, so here she comes up with
you
the
can't
steal.
complain because her pass led to the basket. But,
I think it's just awareness. It's just unselfish play either. And maybe if that was someone else, she wouldn't have passed it. But I think she trusts in Janitez's ability and knew that wasn't a difficult shot for her.
Oh, nice play by Hollingsworth. And Richenkova arguing about an elbow by Hollingsworth. And again, we know that an elbow from Hollingsworth sent Mormaki out of the tournament. Richenkova is getting up there complaining she's got hit in the neck. And no attempt by Hollingsworth to go and check on her, but maybe we haven't seen a replay of it. So Valentova with 12 points, 7 rebounds.
Oni tam jdou. Trošku zvýšíte ten důraz. Zkuste trošku tu hečnou zónu tady. Ještě tu Mario před skoku. Ano? Přes tu zónu. Ať se tam nedostane takhle jak ta hráčka. You look nothing. If nothing happens. Forward the ball. Point down. You are here.
You know, I don't know what Coach Memnum is saying, but I'm pretty sure he's putting in place for them because he's saying, listen, guys, this is the point where we need to put them away. We haven't been able to put any teams away so far in this tournament, but, you know, now you have 2 minutes left. You got to do it. So Hollingsworth is going to get a much-needed little break here. 16 points and 6 rebounds, and I think she did a good job of playing defense, but not getting into foul trouble and picking up that crucial 4th foul, which I think, you know, maybe Slovakia weren't really aggressive getting the ball to a post player who was being guarded by Hollingsworth.
Well, Balantova, and it's really gotten out of hand, so the Slovakians have to make inroads now. Nice touch from Vinu Halova at the line, but boy, they've gotten a mountain to climb, and really the play of Alban in this second half has been just pivotal for Turkey as they close in on a spot in the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup.
And like I said, you know, I think Turkey might be a little disappointed, not giving themselves a chance to be on the podium, but making next year's World Cup is a good, pretty consolidation prize for them.
Yeah, consolation prize.
Consolation, you know, that's not what they wanted, but it's just as important, to be honest.
In a way, it would be a consolidation prize. They would consolidate their...
with the fact that we're going to...
Yes. They would consolidate their position in women's basketball.
And you and I talked about this earlier, and I'm not sure how it goes with different federations, but I do know with Canada, for example, you know, a top 5 finish in the world, so finishing high in a EuroBasket and FIBA Americas, it helps for the federations, at least with Canada, for funding for the future year. So it is important, you know, we talked, so these guys between finishing 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, at least in Canada, I know it's important to finish as high as you possibly can.
Well, Yurchenkova is feeling the effects of the physicality of this game, hoping she's going to be all right.
Time to shoot, 9 seconds.
Balantova, Minerova. Shacker over the Jantes and Senurek. Shacker misses the 3. Now Minerova has it. So it's an 18-point lead. If Slovakia can cut get a couple baskets here, get it back down to about 14, 12.
Turkey, number 4, outside Turku, first personal foul.
Balantova brings a little bit of rain, but misses.
It is. It's like a teardrop, eh? The arc that she gets on her shot.
Makes it easier to fall in, doesn't it? The higher it is.
Yeah, they say the angle that the ball goes in the net gives you a better, you know, chance. So in the arc, you have a better percentage of making the shot, even if you hit rim, even if and whatnot. So
Balantova whips it over, throws it out of bounds.
And I think that was really good defense by Turkey, but it was also, look how tired Balantova looks. And you know, one of those where there's so many exceptional point guards in this tournament, and we all do it. I'm also a point guard. We all do it, but coaches always say, don't jump and pass, and she just, you know, she jumped, and then she, that's what she had to go to.
Kudasova guarding Shacker.
We haven't seen a lot of Shacker tonight either. Maybe because Alvin has been so great.
Yeah, I mean, the second half anyway. Alvin's been great.
Yeah.
Alvin goes in, baseline, puts it up. And this is right at the buzzer. So with less than 2 minutes remaining, it's Turkey on top 57-39.
Dalším pokračováním zajistí Jan Veselý, který bude
So Slovakia, that put themselves in a position to win this ball game and to qualify for the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup, cutting that deficit to just 4 points at halftime, but they've just again gone flat. I would not put it past them coming back and getting it close again, though.
I was just going to tell you that, Jeff. They were down 16 in the first half, and they came back and ended that only being down 4. You know, they've dug themselves a little bit of a hole here, but they've already come back before, and this game is not even close to being over, especially we've seen Turkey get into some big funks, needless to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it depends on Alvin, honestly, the way she's played. The point guard has to be in control, has to really lead the team. She came out and hit some shots. It seems more unlikely, but Slovakia, the Slovak Republic, are a team that can stroke the three-pointer. Certainly Zhirkova is a player, and she's on the court right now. So, needless to say, they need to start now. So, fourth quarter underway. Shacker is in the game along with Senurek and Janitez. And the veteran Vegan gets it into Senurek. And the reach and the steal by Balatova. She certainly hasn't given up the ghost. And the reach and the foul by Vegan. And Romanova has it now. Shot clock down to 7. And the miss.
And that, you know, that was a tough shot. They just look tired. They look flat to me. They're not really moving the ball like they did earlier.
And they crash the boards. Ball goes out of bounds. It's going back to Slovakia. Goes in, and Janitez has it. Now into the hands of Orazova. Valentina quickly. Ah, she lost it. Missed opportunity.
And this is where I think fatigue is accounting for some of these mental mistakes. We haven't seen Valentova do that. She looks over at her coach and kind of goes, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say. And this is where I think they're just a little tired, and that's why mental mistakes are happening.
Vegan has the shot blocked by Ruzitskova. Ruzitskova's been very quiet offensively today. Vinyakolova is able to get it up and in. She will get a chance for a three-point play. What a crazy shot. She's stuck with it. And again, you know what? I mean, I got to tell you, I know it's part of the game. I'm not blaming Cindrek or Turkey for their approach, but it's just not nice, is it? You don't want to see it. And it's kind of good to see the other team, despite getting hacked, make the basket and have a chance for a three-point play. It makes you think twice about doing it next time.
Yeah, it does. And that's a foul that a coach doesn't like to see either. You never want to foul someone and give them a basket. So
look at Dudasova challenging that inbounds pass, and it's a 15-point game.
Maybe this is a little bit of a fire. That basket, that M1 is what they needed.
Maybe it's going to spark them.
Yes.
Or trigger the comeback. Janitez misses, and Dudasova just handed the ball to Ushalabin. And an offensive foul setting the block on Hollingsworth.
We talked about this, and I do think the refs, maybe they don't like the way that she raises her hands, her arms above her head to make a screen. Here, you take a look. I mean, because it looked like that to me. She was kind of putting her hips into the screen, but I think if I'm Coach Memnum, maybe after the tournament, you need to talk to the refs or the commissioner and say, okay, what is it that she does that we're getting so many offensive foul calls against her? Screen calls, sorry. Because she needs to fix this for the future.
How about that? Offensive rebound, put back. Zitskova, or she got it inside anyway, and put it up.
I mean, Hollingsworth has 4 fouls right now. If you can get a 5th on her, and she has to sit for this remaining, 6.5 minutes, depending on when the foul can be called. That's you might see a little hope in the eyes of the Slovakian players.
I honestly think there is. I mean, it looked almost over again when they fell behind by 20, and now they're down by 13. So yeah, the Turks have led by as many as 20 points. They've never trailed in the game. And now the deficit has been shaved to 13. And the question is, can Slovakia, are they too tired? Can they dig in? And Ruzitskova hasn't really gotten it going, but that's her first basket. So I don't think it's over by a long stretch. 7-11.
We've seen crazier comebacks. There's Orazova with her stats: 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. And you have Valentova who can shoot threes. You have Orazova who can shoot threes.
Hollingsworth gets it. Boy, that was just, I'm going to dominate this possession and going in. You're not stopping me. And Albin then just takes it away from Dudasova. From Vinyakolova. It's not easy to play when That point guard is out on the court. Has to be aware.
It is, and you know, we can take a look at Ushul Albin's stats so far in the game, and the game's not over. There's still 6 minutes and 45 seconds. She has 15 points on 5 for 9 shooting. She is 5 for 5 from the three-point line, 0 for 4 from 2. So she's probably looking and saying, I'm gonna shoot threes the rest of the night. She has 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 steals. So she was gonna go down fighting and making sure she could do everything in her power to give this Turkish team that ticket to next year's World Cup.
Gentes, boy, she powers her way, and Italy, quite wisely, I think, going right at him. Zitskova, she misses, and it's all of a sudden the momentum has just swung completely in the other direction, following the Hollingsworth power move on the low block. And the interception from Balintova. A 3-on-3 break. Is she going to go all the way? Now she's going to take it out. And her pass eluded Michenkova, and Dudasova's jump shot just wasn't there.
And, you know, you see Balintova bent over with her hands on her knees. And I just think they're tired. I think they've given it their all to be here and be in this situation. Maybe they just don't have enough left in the tank.
Look at Albin split the D, then makes the pass to Chanitas, who's hitting her shots today.
She is, and you know, we talked about her being more of that tall 3 guard earlier in her career, and now Coach Memnum has her starting at 4, playing 4, and I think it has helped her game because you can call her the stretch 4, where you have to respect that she can shoot from the outside, but even though she's undersized, you still see her able to score off of post moves inside the key, and she's incredibly talented.
Darla goes baseline. Hollingsworth. If she catches it really that close to the basket, she doesn't miss.
Yeah, and I love that possession for Turkey. It's so unselfish. Everyone touched the ball. They just reversed it. She says the game's not over. And sure enough, because of that, Slovakia was in a scramble on defense, and Hollingsworth was wide open for an easy 2.
Well, speaking of scrambling, they've really got to ratchet up the pressure now. There's only 4 minutes and 10 seconds left in the game. Janites open, and Janites is just saying, we're going to go to the World Cup. And as badly as they played against Greece, and as badly as they felt after that game, you know what? If they leave this tournament with World Cup qualification, I've got a feeling they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves.
Yeah, you do. You know, Janites already has 7 points in this quarter. See, now Turkey's smart. They're just going to, you know, use the clock to their advantage and take as much time off the clock before they get a shot up, because so I guess Albin's feeling pretty comfortable too, getting a little fancy with a behind the back pass. See here.
Yeah, I think, in all honesty, 3.5 minutes to go, up 20, it's okay. You know what I mean? But like with Alexandra Bentley, far right sideline, behind the back pass all the way to the other sideline that ends up at the commissioner's table because Popova didn't know it was coming. I mean, that's just a little bit too much.
Finally a miss from 3 for Albin there. I mean, 5 for 6, that's nothing to scoff about.
Mikola Sukova is in the game, the young 18-year-old, number 4. Have to chart her progress. I'm guessing she'll be playing in the junior categories this summer as well.
Yeah, you know, I imagine she's here with the senior team. They're going to want her to play as much as possible at the developing levels as well.
Sajia Vegan hits the jumper. Did you play for Canada's youth teams?
Yep. Yeah,
And did that help you as a senior team player?
Oh, absolutely. You know, especially because the style of basketball is different all over the world. You know, especially in the different regions, and that's the advantage playing with the youth teams too.
Well, that was online. That was Slamova, who really hasn't played much today.
No, we have seen a lot of Slamova. So yeah, I think it really does help with the development of younger basketball players, and it's also, you know, you get to play with people who you're, you know, gonna play with on the senior level as well eventually. So that's also.
Chikova with the rebound.
So I think the youth teams are important for player development.
And Mikola Chikova puts it up and in.
I think she's going to be good. I think she has a lot of upside to her game.
I think if you look at the teams with the great youth teams, the USA's, the Spain's,
France.
I'm trying to think who's number 4, Australia. You know, I'm talking about men and women.
Yeah.
There's a common factor.
There is.
And they do have great youth teams.
Yeah, and you know, Canada has done a lot for development in the youth teams. You know, I remember when we first started. Mova again.
Just get some more leaping ability. She would have the perfect name. So what about the youth program?
Sorry, yeah, you know, growing up in Canada, Canada basketball didn't have a lot of funding initially, and it was hard, especially for the youth programs. You know, we would only get together for about a week before we were going off to a major competition, and that's somewhere, you know, I have to give a lot of credit and vision to Canada basketball and their leaders and directors, because they said we have to start funding youth programs because they are our future.
Yeah.
And they did, you know, they found it, they fought hard for it, and you have, you know, Canada's come away. I think they just had the U18 FIBA Americas, and both the men and women ended up with silver. You know, we had Canada finish with a silver last year at the U18 level to book a spot to the U19 Women's World Championships this summer. And, you know, I remember playing on the youth teams, and I have to be honest, we got smacked almost every game against Brazil, Cuba, Argentina. You know, we lost to Puerto Rico. So, yeah, there has been a changing in the Americas with Canada's emergence at the younger levels.
Well, speaking of youth teams, Gigic, she's come into the game, number 2. She's come up through the youth ranks for Turkey. In fact, this is her EuroBasket Women debut. And Kovacevic as well, number 20 for Slovakia. And Vajali says, I think that'll do me for this EuroBasket Women. So, Slamova puts up a 3, gets that scoreline a little bit more respectable, and I'm guessing that's going to be it. So we're going to see a little bit of partying over there on the Turkish sideline. They will have some smiles on their faces as they know they have qualified for the World Cup. Well, to be fair, not as exuberant as the celebrations that we saw yesterday. Teams shaking hands. It's 72-56. Turkey qualified for the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup.
So, you know, Slovakia, they shot a great percentage from 2. 9 of 19, 47% from 3. That's 27 points from the three-point line for Turkey. That hurts. You know, rebounding was pretty equal. Assist was pretty equal. See the Turkish fans celebrating there. 17 turnovers. That hurt Slovakia compared to 12 for Turkey. You know, and the score was a lot smaller than the final score. You see Hollingsworth with 20 points, Valentova with 12, Vertikova with her 9 rebounds. Albin with those 4 steals. She just did everything for them today. If you talk about Ushul Albin, I think she was disappointed with her loss. And then you see the Slovakian teammates hugging each other. You know, Zurkova to the younger Balantova saying, "This is going to be your team in the future." And talk about a tournament for Zurkova. I know they still have one more game tomorrow, but she really did everything she could. And I think, I don't want to say age caught up to her, but she had an off night tonight, and it's not the player we've seen throughout the tournament.
Most of the time, she had a tough time against France as well in the quarterfinals, but certainly played her part, as did those loyal Turkish fans, and pride perhaps has been restored to Turkey after that tough loss. And I think if we're honest, you know, you look at Turkey coming in, a lot of questions, and maybe the expectations rose when they finished first in the group. But you know, when you look back, they did win a game against Italy by the skin of their teeth. Had Formica made a jump shot wide open from the free throw line, Turkey would have fallen in that game, and then they would not have had direct passage to the quarterfinals. So, you know, the fact is they no longer have Nevre Yilmaz. They didn't have Lara Sanders this season, and you know, they had a tough build-up. But we have seen overall some really positive things, and you know, personally, I hope Ekman Mangum gets an extension, because I think he knows these players, and also they are, you know, he's kind of taking the chains off, so to speak. He's trying to let them have a little more freedom, and you just have to appreciate that they're still young, and the likes of Alden and Vidarli, if you keep some of those veterans in there, I think Turkey will be better next season.
Yeah, I agree with you, and that's why this ticket to the World Cup next year was so important for Turkey in the development of their national team program. You know, maybe we didn't quite see the celebration that we saw after the Latvia-Italy game, but keep in mind, I do think Turkey came here not expecting, but I think they had high hopes of playing in the semifinal game, not in this game. So, you know, it is still hard. It is still a tough pill to swallow, but you know, after that game, they did what they had to do today, and we saw that, and now they get to, you know, they get to play for a 5th place finish in the, you know, EuroBasket 2017. There's nothing bad about that.
No, not at all. I think probably it also kind of hurt to lose to Greece, perhaps a traditional rivalry of Turkey, as well as a country that has not been a real powerhouse in recent times. So they probably, not suggesting that they look past them at all, because you would have been silly to do that with the way Greece has been playing this EuroBasket Women. But that's the nature of sports. And one tournament from the next, you just don't know what's going to happen. And that's why they're fun to come to. It's great to see the celebrations. It's painful to see the teams when they lose the big games, but that's life. And we're getting to watch it here at the EuroBasket Women. So Turkey win at 72-56. And they will clinch a spot, or they have clinched a spot in next year's FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup. Thanks for watching, everybody.